Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with ASQD Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for some more State of Decay 2. So in today's video, we're actually going to be talking about all of the patch notes for the Content Update 8.0 that actually just went live last night. So this was kind of random. It kind of dropped out of nowhere. They really didn't give us any details before they released it. We're going to be talking about all of the patch notes with the community features and stuff like that, community requested features that they wanted in the game, as well as the World War II weapons are here, some changes to the Nightmare modes, and with the facilities and all sorts of good stuff. Overall, there's a lot of changes in Update 8.0. But without further ado, guys, let's jump right into it. I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so let's get it. So mainly in this video, I'm going to be talking about the key points and main items in the patch notes, because there's a boatload of new things, as well as a bunch of quality of life changes and community requests and stuff like that. So we're not going to go into super in-depth with like every single patch note, so I will link these down in the description below if you guys want to check them out for yourselves. So first off, over a dozen new weapons from the World War II era have been added to the game. I covered this in a different video. I will link that also down in the description, and I will have an annotation up in the top right if you want to check out all of those World War II weapons. The ability to demote a leader without exiling or killing them. So this was a big thing that a lot of people were asking for, because once you promote a certain leader, if for some reason you don't want to go that route, the only way to get out of that leadership role would be exiling them or killing them. Now you can just demote them and you can pick a different character. New icons to help you find your characters you're trying to exile or demote. The ability to transfer items into the base from every inventory slot at a parked car. So for instance, in a van or something like that, you don't have to go through and click each individual slot and transfer. You can basically transfer all the items at once, which it saves just a little bit of time. So it's a little bit of a quality of life thing there. And then also the ability to unload ammunition from weapons in your inventory. So this was something that I found that was very nice, because for instance, if you're playing in higher difficulty modes, you don't have the parts and stuff like that to repair weapons. There was no way to get the ammo back out of those weapons to use in other weapons. So they changed that, so now you will have the ability to unload all the ammunition out of weapons that you don't want the ammunition to be in. Next off, all the World War II weapons. So like I said already, I covered this in a separate video, but I'm going to run down the list real quick for those of you guys that may not know what's in the game. We have the M1918 bar automatic rifle. I know there was a bunch of people giving me crap in my last video talking about being an assault rifle. It's an automatic rifle, one of the first ones of its era or whatever. We have the M1A1 Thompson, the M3 grease gun, the surplus M1911. Yes, the regular M1911 is already in the game, but this is a slightly different model, different sound effects, different stuff, a brand new model, brand new gun and everything. We have the M1917 revolver, the M1903A4 sniper rifle, aka the Springfield. We have the M1 carbine, the M1 paracarbine, and the M97 trench gun, aka the shotgun from World War II. So there are several ways to actually get these weapons. So this kind of clarified a little thing, a few things up with how we're going to get these. So there's actually a new antique weapons trader who shows up occasionally to sell them, appearing at the same rate as the other traders. So it's not like a more rare trader. And these weapons can also be looted from the same containers as other standard guns in the game. Gun stores and, hunting shacks and that kind of thing. You're going to be able to find these weapons. As well as characters with an interest in historical weapons can also spawn with them on the character themselves. So you need to look for traits like the war reenactor, rifle collector, and then there is a new World War II buff character. So, and I didn't even realize this when I did this, but there is actually a character that I just spawned on a regular community because I was going to go look for a bunch of World War II guns, and he did have the World War II buff trait, so I didn't even bother to check to see if he had a World War II gun on him, so that might have to be something I'm going to have to check. And then also with this, the community request. They added 4 special variants that can only be found in the rare weapon containers hidden across the map. So those rare weapon containers that I actually did a video on, where I will link all of those down in the descriptions. Depending on what map you're on, I have them all broken down for you guys. But the Barrow style BAR, which is the custom variant of the M1918 bar. Then you have the Ganglin Strat, which is an M1A1 Thompson with a drum magazine, which that one is going to be very sought after because there's so many bullets in that gun. The Graveyard Shift, which is an integrated suppressed M3 grease gun. So this thing is going to be suppressed. You're not going to have to worry about alerting zombies and stuff. And then we have the T4 M2 carbine, a fully automatic variant of the M1 carbine, which kind of looks a little bit like a Gewehr 43. But next on, demoting leaders. Something we already touched on, but it basically makes it so you can demote your leader to the community screen without having to exile them or kill them. The process is the same for exiling a character. First you mark them for demotion, then you speak to them in person, that kind of thing. Pretty straightforward, but it's a good feature to have in the game. Next, characters. So community requests. This is another community request that they put in the game. Non-player characters are now a lot less aggressive towards nearby enemies while talking to you. So, for instance, I've had this happen many times where I'm trying to talk to one of the other community people in my actual community, and there's a zombie all the way on the other side of like my base, and they just take off running after him like mid-conversation. They have changed that, so that's not going to happen anymore. As well as when you switch characters at an outpost, your old character now teleports home rather than heading out on foot and probably dying, especially in the harder difficulty modes. And then also when you switch characters with your flashlight on, your new character starts out with their flashlight already on. Little things, little quality of life things and stuff like that. Now moving on to the facilities. So the sort ammo action at the storage facility has been rebalanced to make some of the rarer ammo types more common. So when you go into the storage facility and you actually sort ammo, you're going to get twice as many 357 rounds as before, 50% more 44 and 7.62 rounds, and about 15% more 5.56, and about 25% fewer 9mm rounds to kind of make up for it, because 9mm was very, very common in that sorting facility and stuff like that. And then also upgrading an infirmary or clinic no longer ejects its blood plague patients, which was causing their death timers to quietly resume. So for instance, especially in the higher difficulties, if you upgraded your infirmary or clinic and didn't pay attention, there's a good chance that your survivors that were in there for the blood plague were gonna die. Next, the Scrum certification skill now grants a speed bonus to the building of facilities in addition to its original speed bonus to the other facility actions. So a little bit of a buff there. And then real quick, we're going to briefly talk about some items and stuff like that. And then, like I said, the rest of it, if you guys want to check out for yourselves, I will link the patch notes in the description below. So, community request, quick repair toolkit. So this was separate than the regular toolkits that were in the game. Now have been rebranded as advanced toolkits. And they will actually repair twice as much damage as before. And with this, they also did not change in cost when you craft them, and they did not change in rarity when you actually find them in the open world. They just buffed what they could do. So the advanced toolkits have been rebranded from the quick repair toolkits to do basically repair twice as much damage as the standard toolkits. I know that was a lot of toolkits there, guys, but it's a pretty cool feature. Nice that they buffed it and didn't actually change the rarity and stuff like that. And then also, community request, deployable pyro minefields now spawn with the correct rocket pods. They can set zombies on fire again, so they buffed that. And then also, in response to players finding certain crossbows overpowered against plague hearts, they've reduced crossbow damage across the board, though headshots against zombies are still always deadly. That one, I wish the community wouldn't have said anything, because the crossbow is actually very, very viable when you're going up against plague hearts and stuff. So they did reduce the crossbow damage all the way across the board, so those definitely got a nerf. Next, crossbow bolts impact no longer play inappropriate audio. I never really paid attention to this, but I guess there was some improper audio playing when the crossbow actually hit something. And then also, characters with appropriate traits now have a chance to infinitely spawn with a crossbow. This includes the new crossbow hunter trait, which is pretty cool. And then also, unbreakable items no longer drop from plague hearts in a damaged condition, because that was annoying. I actually had that happen a couple times. If it's an unbreakable item, why is it dropping when it's damaged? So those are most of kind of like the key points that I kind of wanted to highlight in the actual video itself, as well as there's a bunch of Dread and Nightmare Zone changes, a few other things, and multiplayer and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to keep this video somewhat short, so I didn't run it too long. So for those of you guys who want to check out the other patch notes, like I said, I will link them down in the description below. But overall, that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, you guys found it helpful, you guys are excited about the World War II weapons and a number of great changes for State of Decay 2, make sure to drop a like on the video, and also subscribe if you are new to stay up to date on all news with State of Decay 2 moving forward. We still have no information on when we might be seeing the Trumbull Valley DLC map. Only time will tell. Obviously, they said 2019. I hope that doesn't mean we're not going to see it until October or November, but only time will tell. Hopefully, they'll surprise us. The one thing I do have to say is they gave us no warning of when they were going to drop these items. They basically said a while back that they didn't have any information on when they were going to release the World War II weapons, and then just randomly, I saw a tweet out on Twitter yesterday that said 8.0 is live. They didn't really hype it up. They didn't give us any heads up, so who knows? They might just randomly drop the Trumbull Valley map right on us, and we won't even know about it. But only time will tell. But like I said, guys, that's all for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.